morning.
Morning. How you
How you
doing?
doing? Yeah, I'm all right. I'm all right. Yeah, not too bad.
All right.
So back with Foundation. We're on episode
Yeah.
6 now. So,
Thanks very much for the subscriber.
hooray!
Yay.
Yeah.
And the
um,
comments. Yeah, really good.
yeah.
Thank you. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh
So
yes, I like, subscribe, share, all that. Yeah.
all that
Sorry, I
stuff.
keep interrupting you. Yeah, so we're in Foundation, season 2, episodes, Why the Gods
6.
Made Wine. Huh?
Hmm. Episode 6. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, so
So yeah.
Harry and Salvor are on the beach. They're having bad nightmares. I wonder why that is.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
These mentalics peoples are bastards, quite clearly.
Mm.
But it's kind of nice. There's a couple of scenes with Harry and Salvo, and they're kind of like getting on
Yeah.
quite well, like
Well,
having a nice sort of grandfatherly granddaughter type relationship. You know, he's taking her fishing and does that later on, and that, and
yeah, that's
um,
nice. Yeah, because
yeah,
she's a hunter sort of type, isn't she? She's a warden, so she's used to doing that on Air Planet. She
yeah. But
seemed
obviously,
quite good.
it's like it's not a water planet, is it? It's sort of terminus, so she's used to hunting and stuff. So, but it's nice. Sort of granddad takes her out fishing. I thought
Yeah.
that was quite sweet. She's
Well,
been quite
I mean, he said
you know.
that, like, you don't like me very much, and I never really got that impression that she didn't like him that much. Because he said, I think it's because of his influence over Gail, but anyway, they've got over it, haven't they? So
Yeah,
yeah,
I mean, maybe that's just paranoia on his part because, like, obviously
maybe.
she's Gail's daughter, even though they don't know each other very well. But like, you know, and Gail clearly doesn't like him. So I don't know. It's weird with Harry because, like, you kind of, I mean, he has got this big plan, and you kind of think he knows everything that's going to happen. But
Yeah,
like, he it's it's like a history only works on big levels, doesn't it? So like individuals, you can't predict everything,
mm,
you know. Um, so it's quite interesting, but it's nice. Yeah, I thought it was nice to see them two getting on in quite a nice way.
yeah,
Both seem a bit sort of personable and stuff like that, you know.
yeah.
I like Salvor in this one. I'm not quite sure why that is. I mean, she hasn't really had a lot of fighting or anything to do.
She's just
They,
down to earth. She's down to
yeah,
earth. Nothing really phases her. Well, it does, but she's practical. I like practical people. I've always like,
absolutely, yeah,
yeah, like I think we said before, like in season 1, I wasn't too sure because she was so stoic. But then after a while, you sort of get to know her, and yeah, I think she's just down
yeah,
to earth, and she gets shit done, and you can depend on her. She's responsible and all of that.
yeah.
She's a good egg. You know,
Absolutely, yeah, and she's
yeah,
kind of like been thrown into it as opposed to the rest of
yeah.
them. I mean, you could argue that Gail's been thrown into it. I mean, she has, but like, Gail's
Well,
got her
yeah.
own fucking agenda as well.
Mm,
Um, you know, as well as Harry. But like, but yeah, she seems to be handling it very well.
yeah.
So,
Oh, yeah.
so
Out of all of them, she's like the adult in the room, definitely.
yeah,
'Cause-
so they're kind of getting on,
mm,
which is kind of good. So they're still on the planet with the Mentalics,
yeah.
who are quite obviously
I think they're
cunts,
evil.
you know.
Yeah.
So Salvo has a little moment with one of the kids who's like telling her about, you know, they've all been like, you know,
Yeah, because
kidnapped,
what I
you
thought
know.
was funny about that was, so he's basically saying how he got there, and he had a really traumatic time, is because they can read people's minds. They're feared um, by like society, and his entire
Mm,
family got their throats cut, and he got his throat
yeah,
cut and was thrown over a wall because he's got, he's a telepath. And at the end of it, he showed that Tellem, who's the leader of the mentalics, the lady, she rescued him. But then, when a bit later on, they all surround Salva and sort of overwhelm her. They touch her and
yeah,
start feeding them out. And this is why I think that they've been having these horrible nightmares, because they've been imposing their minds onto Gail, Harry, and Salvor.
Yeah,
Uh,
they've been fucking with her head. I mean,
yeah,
it was something when that kid was telling his story that sort of that I don't know if this was right, but like it was only when he like because he gets his throat cut and then
yeah,
chucked
yeah,
into the pile, and then you see the people who were doing the executing or whatever all get sort of overwhelmed by whatever the woman's name is, the leader of the mentalics.
yeah,
But
yeah.
like that story seemed to sort of play out with all the other children or whatever. But like, I'm not sure whether because why didn't she intervene earlier? Why didn't she save the adults? You know, it was only like when the children went that she decided to save him. So I'm very suspicious of. I mean,
Well,
obviously, we
not
as
only
the
that,
episode's gone on, we know they're not trustworthy. But
when they sort of they all sort of gathered around Salva and touched her, it was really quite invasive, and they were putting thoughts into her head. Um, and each time it was Tellem standing over them as a saviour. Now that's a bit
yeah,
odd. Do you know what I mean?
yeah.
So
I mean,
I think she's told them, or she's put it into their head that she's the saviour, when actual fact she probably isn't. You know?
I mean, it's possibility that she's engineered those situations, you know. I mean,
Yeah.
if she could have intervened earlier to save the adults as well, but she
Mm.
didn't.
Yeah. I mean, if she's
So
that keen on saving telepaths, then you
yeah,
would
and
have
she's
thought,
obviously like a
yeah,
kind of a fucking racist or something. We find out a bit later on, you know, she's a bit
yeah, she doesn't like normal
um
people.
you know,
Yeah.
she's like, I would never kill one of our own because she says, you know, she says to Harry, "You're kind, you're just like this, and you just kill things that are different from the norm." And he calls her a hypocrite, and she's like, "I would never kill anyone who's one of our own," you know, but she's happy to kill other people. So,
Yeah.
like, it may be that she's engineered those situations in
I
order to
just
create a traumatized child, in order she can use as a foot soldier for whatever the
Well,
fuck she's got going on.
you'd be forever in debt to her, wouldn't you? Because she's your
Yeah,
saviour. And I just found
she's
it
obviously
weird
nuts.
that every single person in that village, it was Halam. Oh, what's her name? Tellem. I don't know. I don't know who
Yeah.
Hallam is. I just made that up. Tellem
Uh,
was standing over as this, I've saved you now. And I just thought, if you're a working colony of telepaths, it wouldn't necessarily be talent turning up each time in the nick of time to save your life. So I thought it was weird that it was
yeah.
always her, and I think it's because she's put that thought in their heads. I don't think she might have rescued him, but at the same time, I totally after seeing the whole episode, she's evil, man. So
Oh, yeah,
she's
she's completely untrustworthy, like,
yeah,
because she's obviously got some sort of plan. Because she
yeah,
says they want to be just left alone, but, like, she's recruiting an army, basically, sort
mm.
of,
Very
you know, and she's
powerful
really
army. I mean, you can fuck with
yeah,
people's heads like that because I
and
wasn't too
she's willing to
sure. Sorry, go on.
no, no, I forgot what I was gonna say.
Oh, sorry, I should stop interrupting.
It's all right.
Because initially I thought maybe they're just telepaths as they can read minds, but no, they can influence people. Uh,
Yeah,
yeah, completely fuck their heads
they
up.
can make
So
yeah, make them do things. Because later on
yeah,
she goes to see Gale and, make you know, she forces Gale into some kind of like delusion by throwing a glass of water in her face and
mm,
and having a barnacle in her pocket because the smell of you know, which is quite smart, I suppose. You know, it's sort of like
mm,
hypnosis, isn't it? But like you know, then she makes her pick up an iron bar against her will and stuff. You know, and like you know, so she's obviously nuts. You
yeah,
know where that all fits in. I mean, it's interesting that Harry, you know, Harry goes there with his new body and then dies.
mm.
Do you know what I mean?
Well,
Just later on in the episode.
I kind of mentioned that
Yeah.
in one of the comments because
Mm.
I was saying, oh, why have they given him a biological body last time? And I
Yeah.
thought it was to make him sort of vulnerable to be captured because obviously if he's a construct, he couldn't,
Yeah.
you know. But
It's
yeah, no,
possible it's all part of the plan. Yeah. I
yeah,
mean, that's what I thought when I watched it again this morning. I was like, like, if his, because they did mention it about, every kind of almost religion needs a kind of death rebirth thing.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
He's having
So it's
he's got
so
more
it's
than
like
most people, isn't he?
yeah, exactly. So I mean,
You can't keep
I
him
mean, it's
down.
no, exactly. But like I mean, he quite clearly appeared to die in this one.
Mm.
So like that wouldn't have happened if he didn't have a body. So maybe it was part of. I don't know. I
Well, it's
don't really
either
know.
right.
But I mean,
I think the writers are too clever just to put it in as a, um, you know, as a plot point, so that now he's vulnerable to be dying. I think Salvor's going to come and rescue him. I think.
maybe. I mean, I don't know. I mean, it may be that he is dead, but there's another one. Because we've already got one. So I mean, we don't really know what happened to him on that planet on
Yeah, it could all be an
Una's
illusion.
world. Una's world. They might be
Yeah,
two of him. There might have been three of him. Why give him one body when you can give him 10 or
yeah,
something?
that's true.
So I
Yeah.
mean, it's possible that Harry knows about it. He knows about that he had to die or something. I don't know. I mean, but I think there's more to it. I mean, obviously, it's not the last we're going to see of Harry. Um,
No.
um,
I
but
mean, it
yeah,
could. I mean,
mentalics
the whole death
last night.
scene. I mean, they're drowning him. It was like a proper 007 moment, really. Do you know what I mean? You could have just
Yeah, it was
shot
a
him in
bit
the head.
sadistic. Yeah,
Yeah.
sort of like totally cruel.
Why didn't you put?
That
You know,
one
you
as
might as well
well.
put some sharks in there for something. You know what I mean?
But it was. I thought it was a good episode for Harry. I mean, it's weird because like I think someone said in the comments about possibly about him having a body to have a child,
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
and stuff. And it's like, oh, that's kind of interesting. But how is that gonna turn out? And then we get this quite extensive flashback while he's in the
yeah,
water of his past, so as a child, where he's figuring out psychohistory patterns, but also then he's just a college lecturer, university college lecturer, a bit up his own arse, working on this thing, a bit defiant.
yeah,
And then he meets his wife and stuff, and then he does actually, sort of
yeah, no,
have
yeah,
almost have a
yeah,
child. So it's interesting. That was his. So now he's got this personal motivation, which we didn't have for him before.
yeah. He was a bit of
But
an
like,
enigma. Yeah, and
yeah,
I'm glad we got that.
but now it's like, it's it even makes Harry a bit more of a wild card because you're like, now he's got fucking revenge possibly on his mind, which goes against
Mm,
the whole thing of psychohistory. It shouldn't be about personal feelings. But
yeah,
like
that
now
might.
you think, well, maybe he's pissing around with the future. Perhaps he's engineering the fall of Empire.
Mm,
Because they killed his wife and kid. So it's put even more fucking questions in, but in a good
yeah.
way. I think.
Oh, yeah.
I think Harry's a great character.
It is. Yeah.
I
I,
mean, it was mostly about him this episode, I think. But
yeah. Your favourite monks came back.
I warmed up to them a bit in this episode. I
Did
thought
you?
it was yeah, because I thought it was cool. They get to Transor and they're a bit wow sort of thing, and like Transor's kind of they have this almost Fifth Element moment, when they go to the
Mm,
reception desk and the woman's kind of like quite friendly, like because we kind of expect them all to be, a military state, and perhaps it was like that in the sort of couple of generations of
yeah.
Cleon's back. But he actually seemed okay. I mean, it didn't trust them. And it turns out that was right.
Mm,
But they're kind of a bit, oh, let's go. Let's go to the hotel. Oh, let's go out on the town first. So they sort of go out on the town, but we don't see that. But they have quite a sweet moment a bit later on. They're in their hotel room,
oh, that's right.
just
Yeah.
chilling
Yeah.
out, and she, sh he's like, "Can you get my cocaine, whatever the equivalent is, and chuck it?" You know, because like he's just really overwhelmed. Sort of
Yeah.
like, but then he makes this quite sweet comment to her, about how her faith puts his to shame and stuff like that, and how he
That's
really
right.
admires her and stuff, and it was quite sweet. And rather than her being a total bitch, which is what I was expecting her to do, but she was kind of sort of receptive to that, and it was quite nice, I thought.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
And
It
then
was
they get
quite a
shrouded.
nice speech he made about. Yeah. The what?
then they get shrouded, don't
Oh
they? They
no,
get
yeah,
fucking up,
immediately, yeah,
which is horrible. Those things that we saw them in the first series when they shroud people. It's just complete sensory deprivation.
yeah,
It's
yeah. It's real
horrible.
nasty. Yeah,
But I mean, we were expecting that. I think
yeah. I
quite
was. Yeah,
quite
I didn't think.
clearly.
I don't think the obviously because when they came through the gate, they're not their genetics or whatever aren't in the system, so they flagged that
Yeah,
up
flag
immediately.
that
So
up.
they've let
That'd be
them.
Demoiselle,
It's
I
nice,
expect.
probably. Yeah, she's probably there on a computer. But like that, it was nice that they let them go out and get blasted on the town.
Yeah,
You know, they could have done it.
yeah,
They could have
exactly.
done it a
I
lot
thought that.
quicker. So I suppose, well, so they've been
I thought
captured.
that.
Hmm?
So they've been captured, and I think that's the last we saw of them in that
Yeah,
episode. So
yeah. I
that's going to
liked
be interesting.
his belief faith speech. Yeah, so it sort of puts it into perspective, like how they think about
Yeah,
things.
I
Um,
think and it's interesting, like what he says. I mean, that's the great sort of original thing about this story and stories like Dune, which take place over multiple
mhm.
centuries and generations, is that people are communicating through time effectively. Do you know what I mean? It's like they're living in different generations, but at the same time, it's not just like we're learning about the past; they're actually living concurrently
Yeah,
because you can go into stasis or whatever it is.
yeah. Well, Polly's on his
Um,
second. He's on his second century, isn't he? So yeah,
yeah,
so he's
exactly.
doing all
So
right.
I kind of like Polly now. You know what I mean? It's a bit silly
Yeah,
before. So, I mean, it's interesting as to how that's going to play out because
yeah,
they could have just killed them. You know what I mean? So what are they after? Information, probably. So torture and all that shit about to happen,
yeah.
um,
Um,
or coercion.
the thing is, they'll probably
Don't
ask him
know.
about what technology, and they'll say, "Oh, yeah," and they already know that the Foundation's got auras and warp, not warp, space folding
Yeah,
technology, and they don't need spaces. Oh, that was
yeah.
the
Which is
interesting thing as
yeah.
well.
So
Um,
yeah, we saw Hober Mallow
yeah,
go on his mission to wherever the fuck it was.
I think it
I
was
don't
just
know.
some coordinates in the middle of space, and then this
Yeah, and it's
massive,
this
great
very
ship.
cool spaceship turns up. Yeah,
Yeah,
and it turns out it's full of fucking spaces,
yeah.
um, all floating around in zero G. Very cool.
Are they
But then
clones? Because like the lady in this looks very like, well, she does look different, but they've got a similar look about them, haven't they?
I noticed that as well. I wasn't sure because
Yeah.
they look very similar.
Mm.
All the ones in this season, but in the first season they were different. I mean, they all
Oh,
still
that's
have that
right. Yeah,
sort of
yeah, I remember now. Yeah,
witchery
yeah,
sort of thing, but like in this one, they all seem to be sort of dark skinned with the sort of golden eyes. But in
yeah.
the first, there were some sort of lighter skinned ones. Because I was there thinking for a moment, are they all kind of the same race or something like that?
Yeah, well, I thought maybe
But
they cloned because the
yeah,
sort of like the leader of the spaces comes out and she's slightly older, and I didn't know if they cloned her
don't
into.
yeah,
Maybe they
I don't
did.
know. I mean, it's possible because I did think
Yeah,
the same thing. But
yeah.
then, like I say, in the first series, there were different
Different
ones or something.
ones. Yeah,
But it was interesting that when he turns up there, the way first of all, that they've got a little place of their own is like opens up a big fucking question. It's like, how does that happen? Because they're kind of slaves, aren't they? Sort of,
yeah.
or at least they were.
Well, they
But
live
she
in.
says to Homer Mallow, why have you defiled the home swarm?
Yeah,
Which is like, so first of all, they've got a swarm,
yeah,
um, which really reminds me of that. Oh, what's that story? I can't remember. I think it's a Robert Heinlein story about some people, and it's like humans who have evolved, and they literally just live in space the whole time, and they can anyway. But yeah, defiled. Your presence has defiled the home swarm. So that's
yeah.
almost like a quasi-religious sort of thing. So like
Well, they're all
Christ
really
Almighty.
amazingly genetically enhanced, so they are like almost a different species now. And I suppose some
Yeah,
ordinary fucker like Hober Mallow, he's a bit of a defilement because he's just ordinary, isn't he?
yeah. It's a bit of a confrontational thing to say. Your presence has literally defiled So
Yeah.
yeah, I was like, "Ooh," rather than hello, welcome, stranger. You stumbled across the home swarm, but yeah, you have defiled it. And he's just like, "Ugh." So that was
Yes,
kind of
that's pretty
that was kind of
interesting.
cool.
Yeah, they've
But
got a
that's
fantastic
more
ship,
bloody.
haven't they?
Yeah, it's really cool shit. But like, where did that come from? You know, who built that?
Fucking
Like,
massive. Yeah, they must
yeah.
just
So
live in they must live in folded space the whole time. Not in normal space. They must just
I don't
live.
know.
You know,
I don't know.
I
It
don't know.
doesn't explain it. You know, it's just sort of, why is it just sitting out there?
Mm.
Empire probably doesn't know about it, or maybe they do.
Well, no, it popped out of
But like,
existence, didn't it? It wasn't there, and then it
yeah,
was there. So I don't know if they just permanently live in warp space or wherever it's called, subspace
maybe
or whatever. But yeah, that I thought that was quite
that's
interesting.
yeah, yeah, it's very interesting. So that's like another fucking group of people we need to worry about.
Yeah,
But like,
they'd be
you
very
know,
powerful.
yeah, absolutely. But like, you know, who are they? Are they being controlled by someone, or are they just like have they snuck off? You know, you would have thought that wouldn't be possible.
Mm.
Is it? You know, but yeah, it's all very interesting. Fuck knows what Hober Mallow is doing there because he doesn't seem to know why he's there. He
No.
was just told to go there, so I don't know what they want from him. We again we don't see a lot of Empire, which is a shame,
Mm.
but we do
Oh
have
yeah,
a quite a cool scene where he is unveiling a statue of the mother of the original Cleon.
mm.
So you know, and like,
And it sort of gets a
and
bit
then
out of
he,
hand, doesn't it?
yeah,
No,
I
it's
mean,
not
it's
quite
weird
what you
because
expected.
yeah, I mean, it's a fucking big statue as well. So like, so there's a big statue of a woman rather than of Empire. Then he introduces his new Empress. Do you know what I mean? Who like, you know, and she makes like an impromptu speech, and he's quite pissed about it. You can
Yeah,
tell, saying that we serve you and all this kind of shit.
yeah.
So it's like, and the other Cleons are like, fuck. Well, it was good while it lasted.
Yeah,
Demazel's just sitting there, standing there, saying nothing. She don't see much of her at all.
no,
But like, you've basically just put a situation in place for why, you know, why keep Empire himself when they could
yeah.
just have the Empress, and now they've got statues of Empresses, so it's kind of okay. Do you know what I mean? He's just like fucking totally shot himself in the foot.
I know,
Um,
but as soon as she stepped round and he held out his hand and she wouldn't take it immediately, and he was like, "Fucking,
yeah,
just take the hand."
yeah.
And
Face was like,
I just thought, "Oh, she's gonna die. She's gonna die.
yeah. But
They're
it's
gonna
weird because
knock her off."
the older Cleon was just sort of laughing like, you fucking
An idiot.
idiot.
Yeah.
So um,
Yeah, they both
so
had it, like Dawn and Dusk probably had a bit of a look, didn't they? They went, "Fuck."
yeah, so we're all screwed.
Yeah.
Because like everyone's got their own shit going on.
Mm.
So yeah, I mean, you know, it's I still
I
don't know
think
what's going
she's
to happen. I
only
mean,
there to really find out if our family died. I mean, she suspects it's them, and it is them. Um,
yeah,
uh, so you kind of wonder if she would. I suppose she's just playing the political game, isn't she? So she's pretending to go through with it, and
yeah. Well, yeah, it's like she's going to she you know, it's possible that she just hopes to gain control of Empire, and I mean, he's already abdicating the genetic dynasty, so it's their own fault that
yeah,
they're letting go of their power, and she's just going to step in and crush it for
yeah,
fun because they killed her family. Everyone's fucking out to get Empire
yeah,
at the
yeah,
moment, you know. So it's like, and you know, but Empire's kind of falling from within, which you know we think is Demoiselle. We
yeah.
suspect is Demoiselle fucking around. We still don't really understand what she's on about. Is she in league with the Spacers? Is that something she's engineered? Like giving
Mm,
them the resources to have a massive ship somewhere?
mm,
You know, we just don't know.
no.
So,
Hopefully, we'll get a bit
so
more of that. Like, I mean, because this episode, like you say, is more to do with Harry, and I was really glad
hmm,
that they filled him in a bit. Um,
yeah,
it's nice to see him as a younger guy, with his wife, Yana. and you know, they had quite a sweet relationship. They were going to have a
Yeah, it was.
child, and that bitch, that
Oh
poppy-eyed
yeah.
bitch, killed her
I've
and a
seen her in a few
baby.
things, and she always plays a bit of a weirdo. She was
Yeah,
in the Euphoria, I think the British version. Is it Euphoria? Not like the British version of that current American show. It was like a sort of cult TV show about 10 years back or something. It's quite interesting. She
right.
was in that, but she was nuts in that as well. She just looks nuts, I think.
Yeah, she does look
You
nuts. I
know,
think
she
the
just looks
makeup was a
great.
bit. Her makeup looked like it had been applied by a psychopath. Yeah,
Yeah,
you know,
maybe it had.
far too much of that black shit around her eyes because her eyes are quite prominent.
Yeah,
Yeah, you
but then
don't need to show them off.
but she's after the Radiant,
Yeah,
um, and put us after the Radiant. Turns out the mentalics are after the Radiant to
yeah,
destroy it, so they
mm,
say. We get a bit more info of the Radiant that he says it's a quantum object. So
mm.
the Vault Harry has one, we have one, but they're the same object. Do you know
That's
what I
right.
mean?
Because
So it's
Salvor was asking
effectively,
him because Harry asked her, "What would you do?" sort of thing
mm,
in my position, and she said, "Well, I'd make sure that I wasn't known by the other Harry, but be able to spy on him." And he was like,
yeah,
he sort of gave her a smile, as if to say that's kind of what
yeah,
he is doing. Um,
but yeah, and he's also fucked with the memories of the other Harry.
yeah,
He
that's
said
true.
he
Yeah,
blunted his memories or something of the whole plan. But then she was like, "But if he's as smart as you, he'll figure it out, won't he?"
which is
You know,
right.
which he probably does. You know,
Yeah,
so God knows, really. Again, another episode, and I'm still just like, "What the hell?" But I
yeah,
still don't know what's happening. But like, I don't know. I might enjoy this episode a lot more.
yeah.
Um,
It was good.
yeah,
Yeah,
it's just throwing in so many more questions each time. I don't know how they're doing it, really.
yeah.
You know,
They've done it really
there's
well.
only so much we can take, really, I suppose. But like
Yeah,
to get some answers, but like I'm still really enjoying it.
yeah. There was a really nice scene where they showed Harry's home planet and how they like heard these sort of
Moon
dragony,
shrikes. Yeah,
yeah, sort of dragony type things. There was some beautiful, like a scene of them taking off for the moon because the moon and the planet share the same atmosphere.
yeah. It's so close that they can actually get there and
Yes,
graze on the moon.
yeah. What a
That was
lovely
pretty cool.
idea. Yeah,
Yeah, that was really cool. I like that.
um,
His dad gives him a clip around the ear. Well, more
yeah.
a punch, I think.
Dad's an arsehole.
Um,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah, he totally is. Yeah,
Although
you wonder
his
why his
mum's
mum
not
stays with
particularly
him,
all
really.
that either. I mean, letting it happen.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, exactly. Yeah, do you
Uh,
know what I mean? It's like so. Maybe we'll find out how that. Maybe we'll get more flashbacks from another Harry and find out how he escaped from his parents or something.
well, he
So
could.
yeah, he's had a bit of a shit time of it.
Yeah, yeah. Well, he could always do
Harry's.
some sums, couldn't he? He could just use his dad as a variable in a mathematic. When's he going to hit me
Yeah.
next, sort of thing, and then just sort of,
Yeah, didn't help him then, did it?
yeah,
Thwack.
yeah,
Wasn't expecting that.
yeah.
So, you know,
I think
so maybe I mean
he
all of
was
that
only like
makes it a bit.
6 years old or something.
Yeah,
He's only done. He
that's
just
true.
realised what he can
I thought
do.
he's just going to be like dodging it, like fucking the Matrix.
Oh yeah, like Spider Man. Yeah.
Too slow. Yeah, but like but I mean,
Yeah.
all of that stuff in this one makes it all a bit more personal for Harry, rather
Yeah.
than this dispassionate mathematician we've seen, which made sense for
Yeah, I really
psychohistory.
feel for him now.
But
Yeah.
now it's like is his personal revenge? Is that in
Um,
his, because like if so,
he
that
kind
goes
of
against
hated
all the
them though
psychohistory.
before. He did hate the Empire before.
Yeah,
He knew that Yana was pregnant with his child. He did. But I mean, that would just
yeah,
that would be the final straw, wouldn't it? That would be the
but yeah,
fuck you
but it's
guys.
like, but is he, is he? I mean, psychohistory is just predicting the future. So it's nothing to do with me. It's going to
Mm.
happen, whatever. But like now, we think, well, he can influence things on a galactic scale.
Oh yeah.
Is he using that influence, or is he just watching it dispassionately? but now we
Yeah.
know he's got personal beef. You know what I mean? So it could be that he's fucking around with it, which like makes him a baddie. I don't know.
I don't know. I
You
don't
know,
think he's bad, but I think the people on Terminus, it was interesting that they were quite warlike, and I thought you're going to go up against the Empire. That's a bit mental, but
mm,
but if he has maybe inadvertently used the maths to, um, but I mean, empires do fail anyway, so and they are cunts, so they do deserve to die. The Empire,
yeah.
but
But then it's weird, like what's I mean, are we going to skip forward again? I'm sure we do, like
mm,
skip forward to the future again. So like, what are the next empire going to be like? Perhaps they're going to be like benevolent,
that's
perhaps now
maybe that's
if
what.
they've got they're more family, sort of like it's it's still a royal family, so fuck them. But if it's a more sort of nurturing kind of leader, then
Yeah,
perhaps they're gonna feel they don't deserve it, that what's coming to them or
maybe
something.
that's what
So I don't know.
Demoiselles up to, because
Yeah,
when she was speaking to, like in the first season, there was that massive. They murdered all those people on them 3 planets. Was it 2 planets? It was just ridiculous. Anyway, they hung people, and as they kicked people off the edge, they destroyed another planet. Um,
yeah,
and the young, it was dusk, but as a young, no, dawn, sorry, it was dawn,
yeah.
talking to Demoiselle as a young lad, probably about 7 years old, saying, "Is it always like this?" And she said, "Yeah, it's always like this." So maybe that's
Uh,
what she's going towards, sort of like you say, more benevolent rather than this, you know,
but
uh,
but yeah,
totalitarian.
but the only reason to do that would be to make them weak. If like well,
Mm,
I mean, you could think she was trying to, make it a more just society, but like
mm,
everyone wants empire to fall. So like, as soon as they lessen their grip on power, they're just going
mm.
to get fucked over. It's not just going to fall because they're going to let it fall.
Yeah, they're going to go,
They,
"Oh, you tried your
they're,
best. It's a
they're
golden
going to make
handshake."
themselves weak and then get fucking crucified,
Mm.
sort of thing. So
Yeah, they've
it's really
hurt too many
interesting.
people. They've hurt too many people.
Yeah,
So
exactly.
yeah, and
But
also
it's like,
when Sareth made that speech, and sort of like imposing her authority, really, saying I won't be pushed around, sort of thing. Damosel touched the stone on her wrist, that because she believes in the free
yeah,
mother planet thing, doesn't
I
she?
didn't understand that. I wasn't sure. I did notice it, but I
Yeah,
still wasn't quite sure again because we don't know what the fuck she's up to.
no.
But like, it's clearly she's got her own. I mean, if it turns out that she was the one who gave the resources to the spaces and has sent them off to hide
Mm,
and fucking increase their numbers for whatever reason, I wouldn't be surprised. Do you
yeah.
know what I mean? Or the fact that the foundation have got this technology that is effectively makes spaces obsolete,
Mm,
and they just figured it out in a couple of
mm,
100 years. Like, it
yeah.
seems a bit of a stretch as well. Like, if the empire hasn't figured it out, how have they figured it out? So it wouldn't surprise me if, I don't know, I don't know. She could have her
And,
hands somewhere in that either.
well, maybe, I mean, like, because the foundation, well, they say that, when you need to do something, you will find a way, won't you? So there's a phrase, um, something is the something of inventiveness or something. I forgot what it is. But basically, if you're in a bind, you're more likely to come up with an invention to get around it, sort of
Hmm. Is
thing.
it necessity?
No,
Necessity is the
that's
mother of invention,
that's it.
something
Yeah,
like that.
that's yeah, something
Could be
like
wrong
that.
about
And
that.
of course they're on this. They're out in the middle of nowhere, and they've got to survive. So, and also the imperial, the empire, they're sort of stagnant. They haven't really had to
Yeah.
change the way they do things. You know, whereas the Foundation already know about the space fold and technology and how to improve it to get around sort of the spaces, because obviously the spaces would know every journey you take because you have to take them on a journey. But if they could work a way of doing that and surprising the Empire with like a bunch of ships just dropping out of subspace, because that would be a good way to attack somebody. Be surprised.
Absolutely. So they could, it
They
could
could
be
have
like a
done
big
it.
alliance of,
Yeah.
the foundation and the spaces and all this other crap.
And Harry
Could
also
be.
picked the people. He handpicked every single person who started the
Yeah, that's true.
Foundation. So he may have picked, like really clever engineers and
Yeah, that's true.
all that sort of stuff. So yeah, it is
Yeah,
possible.
of
Yeah,
course. I forgot about that actually. Yeah, because it's not
yeah.
just like a colony, is it? Yeah.
No, yeah,
So,
they handpicked everybody. So he knew sort of
yeah,
they would, all get on and optimal survival rate, if you like. Yeah,
yeah.
yeah. So
Very interesting.
yeah.
I think that's kind of.
Well,
I think
apart from
that's kind of
Harry
everything that
being
happened.
drowned by that horrible Tellem woman.
Yeah. So, like, quite. I mean, she's obviously a nutter, but like, she's obviously after power. I mean, she wants Gail to lead. She wants Gail to lead the group, and
Mm.
Gail's like, "Oh, right, okay." I mean, that's kind of fucking weird. I didn't really kind of understand how she went with that straight away.
Yeah, well,
Um,
she's been her mind's been all of their minds have been fucked with, haven't they? So
yeah,
I'm
but
hoping
like this.
Salvor will come to the rescue.
But I think this maybe this woman, like when she saw the vision of the mule that Gail showed her, said this is this future. She was like, "Fuck, we're actually going to be super powerful," and it probably begins with us. So
Mm.
it's giving her a push to sort of like, because she's obviously crazy and lusting after power,
Well, you'd
and
think
she's obviously like thinks that mentalics are the best, and everyone
they haven't
else
made a
is
great job of
not.
it, have they? I mean, it was all like piss stained rubble on fire. Do you know what I mean? That's what the future was. It
Yeah,
wasn't like curing cancer or everybody's 7 foot tall or something. You know what I mean?
yeah.
Yeah,
But who knows?
yeah.
Who knows? So
Yeah, I
yeah, it's
suppose
all
we should
very
leave it.
interesting.
Yeah, yeah. I'm looking forward to the next one. I'm going to watch it again in a minute because I want to watch it again. So
Cool. Yeah, I watched it again this morning. But yeah, no, I thought it was really good.
yeah,
Yeah, I really enjoyed it. Yes, it's like fucking hell, Harry's gone again,
mm,
but like I'm sure he'll be back
yeah,
somehow. I think we don't know what happened on Una's world when they gave him a new body, but like he
mm.
didn't seem to remember the whole process. So
I
it
think
may
he's
be
got
he's
an
a clone.
idea, but I don't. Yeah, he's
Yeah,
not. He's not telling
he,
anyway.
he might. Yeah, exactly. He might know what it's all about. He might just be a clone, and maybe they're just gonna every time he dies, they're gonna pump out a new clone.
That'd be all right.
Maybe. And so yeah, we're going to have this. Maybe they're going to get lots of Harrys popping up, and it to increase this sort of religious aspect that he's this
The
omnipotent being.
Undying.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
That sort of stuff. So it could be that, or it might not be that.
yeah,
I don't know. But it was
yeah,
good.
yeah, yeah. It's good. I'm enjoying it.
Yeah, me too.
Right then, like,
Right on.
subscribe,
Like,
share
subscribe, and share if you want.
if you
Yeah,
want.
don't
Don't
have
have
to,
to.
but you can.
Yeah, it's
Cool.
allowed.
It's
Oh,
allowed. Right on. Well, I'll see you next time then.
see you then.
All right, cheers,
Bye.
bye. Bye.
Bye.